Hi, Julie here. So how do you know if your child has got OCD and how can you help your child if they've got OCD? Well, these are two questions I wish I had known the correct answers for, because had I known how to know if a child had OCD and how to help a child once they did have OCD, my daughter wouldn't have become seriously ill with OCD, and nor would we as a family have been under its grips too, because sadly, once OCD spirals out of control, it doesn't just affect the child, it affects the whole family, as we found out to our detriment. Prior to getting the help that we needed, we were doing all the wrong things, and we were actually feeding this hungry monster, because that's what we call OCD. Because when we actually finally got the help from CAMS, they likened it to a hungry monster, in that the more you feed it, the more it demands. And my goodness, did we give it everything it demanded, until in the end it was a daily event to just have meltdown after meltdown and have a house full of shouting. I mean, I don't even know what the neighbours must have thought. So basically, as I said, we were doing all the wrong things, and then once we finally got the help from CAMS, we finally, thank goodness, then were taught the right ways to deal with this monster and how to starve it of its power. Now, I'd love to say it was a quick fix, but sadly it wasn't. It took 4 years. And it was painstakingly slow, because every step of therapy, even the smallest step, had to be broken up into even more small steps, because sadly it's very difficult to get your child on board with therapy to begin with, and when you do, you've got to take it at very snail slow paces, because they won't get on board. So what did we find that helped with our child with obsessive-compulsive disorder, or OCD? Well, we found that distraction methods worked very, very well. We were taught to sort of try and catch the OCD in its early stages. So as soon as we knew that she was going to go into some sort of meltdown or massive anxiety, we would quickly bring in some distraction methods. Things that worked for us, our most popular one was just to jump in the car, go for a ride, listening to music, and we're lucky to live near a coast, so we would just go for a ride to the coast. Another way we would tackle it is to go for a coffee, or to go for a walk, or play a board game. Just really whatever you know, whatever appeals to your child, whatever is most likely to distract them from their anxiety, do it as quickly as you can so that it stops a full-blown meltdown. Another thing that works really well is rewards, because like I said earlier, getting children on board with therapy is very, very difficult. So what we did was actually break down a list and then break them into smaller steps of the issues we wanted to tackle. And then we would reward any therapy that she did successfully completed, however small. We would agree mutual rewards. In our case, we wrote a big list, and my daughter actually drew pictures of the rewards she wanted. Some were smaller rewards, some were bigger rewards. It depended how big the therapy was. So rewards and distraction work really, really well with OCD. And that is what led me actually to finally start publishing books. I actually publish books in my Mind Monster series. This is the first book that I wrote, which is Hank the Hungry Monster. And Hank represents OCD, and it's represented in a way that Hank is playing a game, and obsessions and compulsions are described as commands that he actually issues as part of his game to Annabelle, because the leading character in the book is called Annabelle. And she eventually confides in a teacher, and the teacher shows her how to stand up to the intrusive thoughts. And unsurprisingly, Hank isn't very amused, and he packs up his bags and he moves on to his next home, which in my case is my next story, which leads me to Trixie the Treat Monster. Because what Trixie represents, she represents how to use distraction and rewards within your therapy with your child. What she does is, when Hank is actually issuing orders to his new victim, which in this case is Leo, and Leo just likes to count, that's his OCD. But each time that he tries to pass a command for Leo to start counting, Trixie comes along and she intercepts the thoughts by introducing reward methods, distraction, like I'm trying to find the first one that she gave. The first one that she gave him was an ice cream, and Hank is puzzled there why on earth his command has changed to an ice cream. But what she's doing is distracting Leo's thoughts to think about something pleasanter instead. And then later on, she gets Emily, his best friend, to say, well, I tell you what, if you don't count on the next match, I will buy you a slice of pizza. So when he goes to count in his next match, when he's about to take a penalty shot, Trixie quickly puts the vision of a slice of pizza in his head. There she is. And he, instead of thinking of counting, he thinks of this lovely reward at the end, which is a pizza. And on the last page, you can see again, Hank isn't impressed because his commands are no longer working, so he moves out. Trixie's over the moon because she likes playing games and winning, and she's won. And Leo's enjoying his pizza while Emily is dead chuffed because she's managed to help. Alright, so the aim of my books is that I just want to raise awareness of this illness, to try and deter other parents and families and children from having to go through this awful illness. I also want to raise funds. I'm donating 50% of any profits I make from my books to CAMS, Children and Adolescent Mental Health Services. And I also want to offer hope to parents as well, and to children going through this illness, that no matter how bad it gets, and my daughter was very seriously ill with this illness, you can come out the other side. It's a long tunnel, it's a dark tunnel, but if you stay consistent, and if you use this distraction and reward methods alongside professional help and therapy, because you will need professional help and often medication, there is hope at the end of the tunnel. And when your child does eventually free themselves from the grip of OCD, there is no better feeling in the world. And that's why I'm passionate as a mum, because I'm not a professional writer, I'm just an ordinary mum. But I'm writing these books, and there will be more books in my series, to raise awareness and funds for OCD, and to offer help to any parents who are not sure if their children are suffering from OCD, so to stop it even moving in to begin with, and to offer hope of how to deal with a child with OCD if it does develop into OCD. Alright, if you've enjoyed my video, please don't forget to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button. And I'll put a link to my website where you can actually purchase copies. I actually sign copies of my books in the UK, or if you're living outside the UK, they're available on Amazon or the Book Depository. And I'll pop a link to it in my video in the comments section, alright? Thanks for watching, and see you on the next video. Bye for now.